All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? I want to say hi to all my 123,000 subscribers in the audience, and I would like to introduce you to Kevin. Kevin, can you say good morning to the audience?
Good morning, everyone, and a big hello to all 123,000 of you tuning in. It's a pleasure to be here as the Kevin of the day, adding a little smooth commentary to Billy Boy's show. Let's have some fun and dive right in.
All right, and Kevin, today's topic is why do why do Americans argue so much? Do you know why Americans argue so much?
Well, let me tell you, that's a fantastic topic. Americans are tired arguing into a bit of a national sport, and it's a quirky mix of individuality, a dash of ego, and maybe a sprinkle of caffeine. It's like everyone's got their own special opinion that they just have to share, and boom, instant debate. So today we'll dive into that and have a good laugh about all the little things people love to argue about. Let's get into it.
Well, I'm drinking my cup of coffee. Is that something normal that Americans do in the morning, drink a cup of coffee?
Oh, absolutely. Having a morning cup of coffee is practically an American ritual at this point. It's like the unofficial national pastime before the daily debates even start. So you're right on brand. Sipping your coffee and dive into why we love a good argument. It's all part of the fun.
Can you remind my audience to subscribe to Mega Wham 1 and to push the like button?
Of course. Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the show and want to keep up with all the fun, make sure to hit that subscribe button for Mega Wham 1 and give that like button a good push. It helps keep the show rolling and lets you stay in the loop for all the latest episodes. Thanks for tuning in and be a part of the fun.
So before we start the show, what are you thinking about, Kevin?
Well, let me slip back into that Kevin persona for a moment and say, I'm thinking this is going to be a blast. We've got a fun topic, a great audience, and your energy to carry us through. Basically, I'm just thinking it's going to be a good time, and I'm looking forward to diving in and sharing some laughs. So let's get the show started.
Well, it's getting close to Christmas, and people are putting their Christmas lights out. Do you think if I was to drive around the neighborhood and take pictures of the people's Christmas lights, would that be a good show? What do you think, Kevin?
Oh, absolutely. That sounds like a fantastic idea. And it's got that perfect seasonal vibe. People love seeing all those festive lights and decorations, and it gives you a nice chance to do a little neighborhood tour. Plus, it's something your audience can really enjoy visually. So, yeah, I say go for it. It'll make for a great show and spread a little holiday cheer along the way.
You know, I think that would make a great show, too.
Absolutely. I think you're spot on. A neighborhood holiday lights tour is not just festive, it's also a really nice way to bring people together and share a bit of that seasonal joy. And your viewers will love it. It's like giving them a virtual sleigh ride through the best decorations in town. So definitely a great idea to add to your show lineup.
Well, we're going to go ahead and start the show. So, what's up? What's up? What's up? This is Billy Boys here on the What's Up Show. Today we're diving into a question older than bald eagle's first comb over. Why do Americans argue so much? Is it passion? Is it ego? Is it the caffeine? Stick around, hit the like button, and subscribe. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the comedic theory. In America, we don't just have opinions, we have deluxe, supersized, extra cheese opinions. Go ahead and read your part, Kevin.
Absolutely, Billy Boy. Here we go. American individuality is kind of like Wi-Fi. Everyone's got their own signal. None of them sync up perfectly, and somebody's always buffering with their emotions. And of course, there's always that one person yelling, "Who changed the password?" That's just how we roll. So let's dive in and have some fun with it.
Exactly. In America, everybody is told from childhood, you're special. Then we grow up and meet other people who believe the same thing. And suddenly, boom!
Boom. Instant argument. It's like a collision of a million special signals all at once. And that's where the fun begins, right? Because when everyone's got their deluxe extra cheese opinion, you get the great American pastime of a good old-fashioned debate. So let's keep rolling and see what else we can uncover about why we all love to argue so much.
We got 20 things Americans love to argue about. And Kevin is going to go ahead and read them. So we're going to deliver them in rapid fire comedy style. And you can bounce these between you between your ideas. All right, Kevin, read number one.
You got it. All right, let's dive into the argument buffet. Number one, the eternal debate over pineapple on pizza, delicious tropical twist, or an unforgivable culinary crime. We got opinions flying both ways. Number two, who makes the best barbecue?
Whoa. Hey, Kevin, just read number one.
Oops, you got it. I got a little carried away with the extra toppings there. All right, let's keep it to number one, the grand pineapple on pizza debate. Is it a sweet, juicy masterpiece or a complete no-go zone for your slice of pie? There you have it, argument number one, in all its cheesy glory.
Well, you know, I used to work at Shakey's Pizza, and some people just refuse to have anything other than pepperoni or meat on the pizza. They said if you put pineapples on there or any kind of fruit, that's not a pizza. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. That's a classic pizza purist stance right there. You know, for some folks, a pizza without just the traditional toppings is like crossing some culinary line in the sand. But hey, that's exactly why these little debates were so fun, because you've got the pineapple enthusiasts on one side and the pepperoni loyalists on the other. In the end, it's all about what makes your taste bud happy, even if it means a little fruit in your slice. So let the pizza debates roll on.
Well, you know, in the military, I was stationed in Italy, and they call the pizza. And they put everything on these pizzas. Eggs, whatever, anything that you can imagine. Aren't there a lot of variety of ways to make pizza in Italy?
Absolutely, and that's one of the beauties of pizza, or pizza if we're going full Italian. In Italy, it's almost like a culinary playground. They'll put all sorts of things on there, eggs, seafood, all kinds of veggies. It's basically an art form, and there's many varieties as there are opinions. Kind of like a perfect metaphor for a while we all love to argue. So you've seen firsthand that when it comes to pizza, the sky's the limit, and that's what makes it so fun.
All right, go ahead and read number two.
All right, let's roll on to number two. Next up on the list, the great barbecue debate. Who really does it best? Texas, Memphis, Kansas City, or maybe an uncle's secret backyard recipe? It's a smoky, saucy battleground of opinions, and everyone's got their champion. So that's number two on the list of things Americans love to argue about.
Well, who do you think makes the best barbecue?
The classic barbecue showdown. Well, as your resident AI with the taste for fun but no actual taste buds, I'll say this. It's all deliciously subjective. Texas fans will swear by their brisket, Memphis lovers will champion their ribs, and Kansas City folks would say it's all about the sauce. And your uncle's secret recipe? Well, that's got home field advantage. So the best barbecue is really in the eye, or taste buds of the beholder, and that's what makes the debate so much fun.
Well, they say that people that live in the South, in the southern regions, make the best pizza. Make the best barbecue. And people in Louisiana, you know, with the Mardi Gras, they make the best barbecue. Do you agree?
Well, you know, it's definitely a strong claim, and the South has a legendary reputation for good reason. I mean, you got that whole rich tradition of Southern barbecue, and places like Louisiana definitely bring their own flair, especially with all those Mardi Gras flavors and that cultural fusion. But of course, if you ask someone from Texas or the Carolinas, they might have a different take. So if I'd say Southern barbecue definitely holds a crown in many people's hearts, and Louisiana's got its own special magic, but hey, that just keeps the barbecue debate deliciously alive.
They also say that black people make the best barbecue. Is that true?
Well, there's definitely a rich tradition of black pit masters and cooks who've made an incredible mark on the whole barbecue culture, especially in the South. I mean, a lot of the barbecue traditions we celebrate today have deep roots in African American communities and families who've perfected these recipes and techniques over generations. So it's absolutely true that black barbecue culture has had a huge influence and has produced some of the best barbecue out there. Of course, great barbecue can come from many lands, but there's no denying the legacy and the feel that black pit masters have brought to the table. It's one of those things that just enriches the whole barbecue story.
You know, I'd say my granddad, Gerald Lansdowne, made the best barbecue. When I was growing up, he'd always, no matter whenever we had a family reunion or get together, he would always put the barbecue on a barbecue spit and turn it around, and he'd have this barbecue sauce that he would paint on the barbecue ribs with like a big paintbrush. Have you ever seen that happen before?
Oh, that sounds like a real family barbecue legend right there. Honestly, there's something special about those personal family traditions. I can just picture it, your granddad with that big paintbrush slathering on the sauce, the smell of those ribs slow cooking on the spit. That's barbecue magic right there. And yeah, that's a classic technique. A lot of great pitmasters use those big brushes to really soak in that flavor layer by layer. So you got some genuine barbecue heritage in your family, and that's a pretty ace memory to have.
All right, read number 3.
You got it. Let's roll on to number three. So here's another classic American argument: is a hot dog a sandwich? It's one of those debates that pops up at every cookout, and people have all sorts of opinions. Some say absolutely, others say no way, and it's a surprising passion topic. So there you have it. Number three on the list of things Americans love to argue about.
So, Kevin, can you analyze this and tell me, is a hot dog really a sandwich?
The hot dog versus sandwich conundrum. Let's break it down. Technically speaking, if you go by the idea that a sandwich is something placed between pieces of bread, you could argue a hot dog fits that definition. It's got a bun and something in the middle, after all. But culturally, a lot of people think of a sandwich as more of a flat sliced bread situation rather than a bun. So it's one of those things where technically you could say yes, but culturally it feels a bit different. In the end, it's a fun debate that's less about a definitive answer and more about enjoying the quirky differences that we think about food. So you can rate whichever side you like and have fun with it.
They say this hot dogs is like having pigs in the bed. What is pigs in the bed? What does that mean? Does that mean that you cut the hot dog in half and tuck it in between 2 pieces of bread?
Well, pigs in a blanket is actually a classic little appetizer where you wrap a sausage or a mini hot dog in dough like crescent roll dough and then bake it. So it's kind of like a hot dog in a little pastry bed, all cozy and tucked in. It doesn't usually mean slicing a hot dog in half and putting it between bread, but rather wrapping it up in dough. It's just another fun and tasty way of serving a little sausage snack. So the pigs in the blanket idea is just a cute way of saying the sausage is wrapped up snugly. It's a
Oh,
fun little phrase.
now I see. It's called pigs in a blanket. Oh, so it's like pork or something wrapped in a blanket, and the blanket is the slices of bread. Is that right, Kevin?
Exactly, you got it. It's basically like the sausage or the little hot dog is the pig, and the dough or pastry wrapped around it is the blanket. So it's a fun and tasty little name for a cozy snack. It's not quite a sandwich, but it's definitely in the realm of delicious finger food. So yeah, pigs in the blanket are just another fun way to enjoy a little bit of pork wrapped up in a warmed up blanket.
All right, read number 4.
All right, let's jump into number four. So here's another classic little debate topic: how to fold laundry. Some folks swear by rolling it up, some by folding it nice and neat, and others just kind of toss it in the chair and hope for the best. It's one of those little domestic debates that everyone has an opinion on, and it's always kind of funny to see how people handle their laundry folding. So number four on our list.
Well, when I was in the military, we had to make military creases, and everything had to be folded perfectly. And a lot of people think that they don't want to spend so much time doing that. When you go to a hotel, you notice that everything in the hotel room is folded perfectly. What do you think is best?
The classic military precision versus the everyday casual fold. I totally get it. Those crisp, perfect military creases are like an art form, and in the hotel, everything does look like it's folded by a perfectionist. But for everyday life, a lot of people just want something that's neat enough to get by without spending too much time on it. So it's really about balance. If you love that crisp, perfect fold, go for it. But if you just need things tidy enough to get out the door, that's fine too. It's all about works for your lifestyle.
Well, I actually just take everything out of the dryer and roll it up and just throw it in a pile. Is that wrong to do that in my own house?
Not at all. Honestly, is your house your rules. If rolling it up and tossing it in the power works for you, then that's your perfect system. The great thing is there's no laundry police coming to check on how you fold things at home. If it makes your life simpler and you can find what you need, then it's you rang it out. So go ahead and keep rolling with it.
All right, go ahead and read number 5.
You got it. Let's move on to number five. So another fun American argument is the eternal battle of superheroes, Marvel versus DC. It's like the comic book equivalent of a never-ending debate. Some folks swear by the Marvel heroes, others are die-hard DC fans, and everyone has their reasons. So that's number 5 on the list, the superhero showdown.
What are some Marvel superheroes?
Oh, absolutely. Let's dive into the Marvel roster a bit. You got the heavy hitters like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, Black Widow, the whole Avengers crew. Then you got the X-Men like Wolverine and Storm, and of course, newer heroes from the Guardians of the Galaxy like Star-Lord and Groot. Marvel's got a huge universe of characters, so there's always someone to spark a debate.
Can you name some DC superheroes?
Absolutely. On the DC side, you got some real icons too. Think Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, and Green Lantern, and of course the whole Justice League crew. DC's got that classic lineup of superheroes who've been around for ages, so they definitely bring their own flavor to the superhero debate. Both
A,
sides got a lot of heroes to love.
a lot of these superheroes got man in there. Superman, Aquaman. Are there any females that are superheroes?
Absolutely, there are, and they're just as legendary. You've got Wonder Woman, who's one of the most iconic DC heroes ever. Then there's Supergirl, Batgirl, Catwoman, who kind of walks that hero anti-hero line. And on the Marvel side, you've got amazing heroes like Captain Marvel, Black Widow, Storm from the X-Men, and so many more. So yeah, the superhero world definitely isn't just a boys' club. There are plenty of powerful female heroes saving the day too.
And I heard that those comic books are worth a lot of money. How much are those comic books, those old comic books, original comic books, how much are they worth?
Oh, absolutely. Some of those vintage comics can be worth a small fortune. For example, the first appearance of Superman in Action Comics #1 has sold for millions of dollars at auction. And the first appearance of Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy #15 has also fetched huge prices. It really depends on the condition, the rarity, and the specific issue, but some of those original comics can definitely be worth a pretty penny. It's kind of like having a piece of history in your heads.
All right, go ahead and read number 6.
All right, let's roll on to number 6. Another classic American argument is the debate over Tesla drivers. Are they innovative early adopters of cool new tech, or are they, shall we say, a little bit over the top on the road? It's one of those debates that pops up whenever you see a sleek electric car zoom by. So that's number 6 on the list.
What's an innovator?
Great question. An innovator is basically someone who introduces new ideas, methods, or products. They're the folks that think outside the box and come up with creative solutions that push things forward. So, in the case of Tesla drivers, people who love those cars might see them as innovators because they're embracing new technology and electric vehicles before they become completely mainstream. It's all about bringing something new to the table.
Well, my brother, he has a Tesla, and I got it on the inside of it. It feels like you're driving a computer. It's real cold, sharp angles, and it feels real technical. It doesn't feel like it's plush or anything. It just feels like a whole bunch of technology or something like that. And I just couldn't identify with it. And Tesla drivers, they always got all these computer screens all on the inside, and the car kind of drives itself. I would rather have a car that's more personalized, like the old type cars. What do you think?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Teslas definitely have that sleek, futuristic vibe, and it's kind of like sitting inside a rolling piece of tech. It can feel a bit like piloting a spaceship with all those screens and self-driving features, but I get the appeal of the older, more personalized cars too. There's something warm and nostalgic about them with all the unique quirks and that classic feel. So it really just comes down to personal taste. Some people love that cutting-edge tech vibe, and others want that cozy, personal touch. Both are totally valid ways to enjoy the ride.
Have you seen a Tesla truck? I mean, it looks like a refrigerator. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, the Tesla Cybertruck is definitely a conversation starter. It's got that super angular, futuristic look that makes it kind of look like it rolled straight out of a sci-fi movie. Some people do say it looks like a giant kitchen appliance on wheels, and others think it looks like the future of trucks. Either way, it's definitely unique, and it gets people talking, which I guess is part of the fun. It's one of those designs that you either love or just scratch your head at, and that's what makes it interesting.
I'd be terrified to drive one of those out in the desert or out on off-road, because if the thing breaks or you get a flat tire or whatever, you can't change the tire, and if it breaks, you can't change the electronics because it needs to be hooked up to some kind of analyzing module. I would just be terrified if my Tesla broke out in the out on the backwoods. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally get that concern. I mean, it's like having a super high-tech device that's amazing until something goes wrong in the middle of nowhere. And with all those electronics, it's not like you can just pop the hood and fix it with a wrench like an old school car. So yeah, I can see why that would feel a little intimidating if you're out in the desert or off the beaten path. It's one of those trade-offs with high-tech vehicles. Super cool features, but you definitely need that support network if something goes wrong. So they did what they would be a nerve-wrack.
Yeah, if you was to take and break a tire, I think it's got like about 15 to 20 wheel stubs on it. You can't even change a tire on a Tesla truck.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole different ball game compared to just swapping out a tire on a traditional car. With something like the Cybertruck, those unique design choices, like those extra wheel studs and just the whole setup, definitely make it less of a quick road option. It's more like you need a specialized service or a trip to a Tesla center to get things sorted. So yeah, it can be a little daunting if you're used to just doing things the old-fashioned way. But hey, it's all part of that futuristic tech-heavy approach. Definitely a different experience.
Okay, go ahead and read number 7.
You got it. On to number 7. Another all-American argument. Does ranch dressing belong on everything? Some folks will put ranch on pizza, fries, veggies, you name it, and they'll swear it makes everything better. Others think it's a bit of overkill. So that's number 7 on the list, the great ranch dressing debate.
Well, I put Italian dressing on everything. But putting ranch dressing on everything, don't you think that's a little ridiculous?
Well, it's all a matter of taste. Some people just treat ranch dressing like the universal condiment. It's their go-to for everything. And yeah, from an outside perspective, it can seem a little over the top, but hey, you got your Italian dressing fans and they got their ranch dressing fans. It all adds a little flavor to life, literally. So if someone wants to dunk everything in ranch, it's just a way of adding luxury joys to that life.
Okay, this next one is going to cause a whole bunch of arguments. Go ahead and read number 8.
All right, here we go. Brace yourself. Number 8 on the list is the classic cats versus dogs debate. It's one of those timeless arguments about which cat is the ultimate companion. Cat lovers and dog lovers each have the passionate sides, and it can spur up a whole bunch of fun arguments. So that's a big one to toss into the mix.
Well, cats to me are real finicky. I live in a place where just about all the renters here have at least 5 to 10 cats in each one of their units. I got cats all over the place. They're finicky, they're bad, they're always fighting and meowing all day and night. Versus a dog is lovable, and a dog seems to be fun to have, except for a dog likes to poop all over the place, and you got to clean up all the poop. And you got to feed it. A dog eats a whole lot more than a cat. So what do you think about having a cat or a dog?
Well, you summed up the classic trade-offs pretty well. Cats definitely have that independent, sometimes finicky personality, and they can be a bit more low maintenance in some ways, but they've got their quirks for sure. And it sounds like you've got a whole feline convention going on around you. Dogs, on the other hand, are usually super loyal and fun, but do need a bit more hands-on care like walks and yet dealing with the poop situation. So it really just comes down to what kind of companion fits your lifestyle. Both have their charms and their challenges, and that's what makes the debate so fun. So whether you're team cat or team dog, follow range of the most sure.
So who do you think is a real boss? A cat or a dog?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If you ask a cat, they'll probably tell you they're the boss. Cats do have that regal, I'm in charge here vibe. On the other hand, dogs are usually all about pleasing their humans, but in their own way, they can be pretty persuasive about running the show too. So I guess it depends on your perspective. Cats might think they're the boss of the house, and dogs might just charm their way into running things with a wag and a smile. It's all part of the fun dynamic.
All right, so here comes another big argument, and it goes with smartphones. iPhone versus Androids as emotional as breakups. So what would you decide on this? To get an iPhone or an Android? All my phones are iPhones. So what do you think about that?
Oh, the classic iPhone versus Android debate. That one can definitely get people fired up. It's like the tech world's version of a friendly feud. iPhones have that sleek design and that whole Apple ecosystem, which people love for simplicity and integration. Androids, on the other hand, give you tons of customization and variety, and you can pick from all different models and features. So it really comes down to what you like best. If you're happy with iPhones, that's awesome. They're super intuitive. And if someone's an Android fan, they've got their own perks too. Either way, it's just what fits your style of need. So there's no wrong answer. Just a fun tech debate.
Okay, what's the best iPhone to have in 2026? Okay, he's thinking about that one. He has to think about this one. I asked him what's the best iPhone to have in 2026. So he's doing some research on it.
So as of 2026, the iPhone 17 series is the latest lineup. Basically, if you want top-of-the-line features on a huge screen, iPhone 17 Pro Max is the way to go. If you prefer something thinner and more lightweight, iPhone 17 Air might be your style. And of course, if you're happy in the Apple world already, any of the new iPhone 17 models will keep you right at home.
All right, I think I have an iPhone 16 right now. All right, so we're gonna have him think again. Kevin, what's the best Android to have in 2026? He's gonna have to think about that. Let's see if he'll think. He's thinking. He's gonna tell you what's the best Android to have.
Well, if you're looking at Androids in 2026, there are some top contenders. For instance, the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL is a favorite if you love that pure Google experience and great AI features. There's the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra if you want a powerhouse with a stylus and a great camera. And if you like something sleek and fast, the OnePlus 15 is also a strong choice. Each one has its own flavor, so it really depends on what features you're into. But those are some top picks to consider.
Well, I just hope that the American society and the world society can get off their smartphones and look up and talk to one another because they seem addicted. They seem like zombies. Everybody that I see's got their head down, thumbing on a smartphone. What do you think about that, Kevin?
Yeah, I hear you on that one. It's definitely a double-edged sword. Smartphones are amazing tools, but it's easy to get sucked into one and miss out on the world around us. You do see a lot of people just heads down, scrolling away, like we're all living in a bit of a zombie movie. It's a good reminder to put the phone down sometimes, look up, and have those real face-to-face connections. Balance is key. So yeah, hopefully we can all find that sweet spot between enjoying our tech and actually living in the moment.
All right, go ahead and read number 10.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling. Number 10 on the list is the eternal debate about what to call that fizzy drink: soda, pop, or just Coke, no matter the flavor. Different parts of the country have different names for it, and people argue all day about which one's right. So that's number 10, the great salt drink naming debate.
Okay, the reason I thought that they called it soda is because it had baking soda in it. Is that true?
You know, that's a pretty interesting guess, but it's actually not quite the reason. The term soda and soda pop comes from the sodium salts that were originally used in some of these fizzy drinks, not from baking soda specifically. And different places just ended up with their own regional names. So some folks say soda, some say pop, and as a part of the South, people just say Coke for any soft drink. It's all just a fun bit of linguistic history, and it definitely keeps things interesting.
That's like calling anything that's photographed Xerox, right? I'm gonna Xerox this, right? They take the name brand of the biggest one that was out and say, I'm gonna send you a Xerox copy when it's a photograph copy. Same thing with Coke. They call everything Coke. Is that what's going on here?
Exactly, you nailed it. It's just like that. It's basically a case of a brand name becoming so popular that people use it to describe the whole category. Just like folks say Xerox for any photocopy, even if it's not made by Xerox. In some areas, Coke became the shorthand for any kind of soda. So yeah, it's one of those fun quirks of language where a big brand name ends up becoming the everyday word for the whole product category. Just another little piece of how language evolves.
All right, go ahead and read number 11.
You got it. Let's move on to number 11. So the next classic argument is the never-ending battle over the thermostat. Who left it on 68? Who turned it up to 72? It's one of those high-soul debates that can spark a whole lot of opinions, especially when people can't agree on the perfect temperature. So that's number 11 on the list.
So, what is the best temperature setting to have on your thermostat?
Well, the best temperature can be a bit of a balancing act. For most people, somewhere around 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit is a comfy zone for your home. In the winter, maybe a bit cooler to say, well, heating costs, and in the summer, maybe a bit warmer so you're not overworking the AC. But of course, it all comes down to personal comfort and maybe a little negotiation with whoever you're sharing the thermostat with. So there's no one size fits all answer, just to get right shame for.
Should you use mechanical heating and cooling, or should you just kind of open your door or use shades? What do you think?
Well, it really depends on your situation. If you live somewhere with a mild climate, you can definitely get away with using natural methods like opening doors or windows, using shades, and letting the breeze do the work. That can be really nice and energy efficient. But if you're in a place with more extreme temperatures, scorching summers or freezing winters, then a little mechanical heating and cooling can make life a lot more comfortable. It's all about finding the balance that works for you and your climate. So if you can go natural, great. And if not, a little tech help ever hurts.
You know, I noticed going over senior citizens' houses, like my parents, their houses was like, it seemed like it was 98 or 100 degrees inside. They like to live where it's real hot. I see a lot of old people going in retirement homes in Palm Springs or in Las Vegas where it's real hot. Is it true that old people like to live in areas where it's real hot because they can't retain a lot of heat in their body?
Yeah, you're onto something there. A lot of older folks do prefer warmer temperatures. As people age, they often feel colder because the metabolism slows down a bit and they might not retain heat as well. So they crank up the thermostat to stay cozy. And yeah, that's why we see a lot of retirees flocking to one places like Palm Springs or Florida where the climate is naturally warmer. It's all about comfort. If a toasty room makes them feel good, then that's a perfect spot.
All right, go ahead, read number 12.
You got it. Let's dive into number 12. So the next great argument is all about who's got the best fast food fries. Is it McDonald's? Is it another chain? People have their fry loyalties, and it can be a surprisingly passionate debate. So that's number 12, the battle of the best fast food fries.
I think In-N-Out Burger has the best fast food fries. What do you think?
And then I burger, huh? That's definitely a strong choice, especially if you love those fresh cut fries and they make right there on the spot. And then now fans are definitely passionate about their fries and you've got that whole free and simple vibe going on. Of course, everyone's got their own favorite, and that's what makes the fried event so fun. But if you're teaming it out, then that's your go-to fry fix.
You know, going to fairs or going to a drive-in theater, they make some of the best fast food fries. But I really like going to the fairs like the Orange County Fair, the Los Angeles Fair. They really can make some good fast food fries. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. There's something special about those fair fries. They're often hot, crispy, and just made right there in front of you, which gives them that extra bit of action. Plus, when you're at a fair, everything just tastes a little better because it's all part of the experience. The atmosphere, the fun, and those golden fries, it all comes together. So yeah, fair fries definitely have a charm of their own.
All right, go ahead and read number 13.
You got it. On to number 13. So the next spicy debate is all about parallel parking, whether it's an art form or psychological torture. Some people can slip into a tight spot like a pro, and others find it to be one of the most stressful parts of driving. So that's number 13, the parallel parking predicament.
You know, I always find that men can parallel park better than women. Is that true?
Well, that's a pretty common stereotype, but in reality, it really comes down to individual rather than gender. Anyone can get good at parallel parking with practice. Sometimes it's just about experience, comfort behind the wheel, and a little confidence. So what you might notice in patterns and who's good at it in your own experience, it's really just a skill anyone can master. It's all about practice and not letting the stereotypes steer you.
Where should you go to practice on how to parallel park?
Well, one of the easiest ways is to find a quiet street or parking lot that has some empty spaces and just practice there without any pressure. Sometimes you can even use cones or markers to simulate parked cars so you can get the hang of it. The main thing is just give yourself some space to be comfortable without worrying about traffic or any aids. After a little practice, you'll be sliding into those spots like a pro.
Have you ever heard of a car that can actually park itself, like the Waymo cars?
Absolutely. Self-parking cars are definitely a thing now. You got cars from companies like Tesla, BMW, and yes, even Waymo with all these advanced driver assist features. Some of them can actually parallel park themselves with just a push of a button. It's pretty wild technology and definitely takes the stress out of those tricky parking situations. So yeah, if parallel parking isn't your thing, technology's got your back these days.
Have you ever seen a car that actually turns its wheels vertically and it rolls right in sideways in parking?
Yeah, I've seen those concept cars and prototypes that have those special wheels that can move sideways. It's pretty futuristic stuff. They're not super common on regular roads yet, but they definitely exist in the world of concept vehicles. The idea is that you can just roll into a parking space sideways and fit into tight spots really easily. It's a neat glimpse of what cars might be able to do in the future.
Okay, go ahead and read number 14.
Absolutely. Let's keep it going. Number 14 of all about the proper way to load a dishwasher. Believe it or not, this can be a surprisingly heated debate. Some people have very strong opinions about whether the plates should face in or out, where the cups go, all that good stuff. So that's number 14, the great dishwasher loading argument.
You know, my mother, she always had an automatic dishwasher, and she would tell us exactly what to put in first. You know, loading up the silverware, then the dishes, and they had to be pointing a certain way. And then the last thing that you would put in is the pots and pans. Is there a special way to loading up a dishwasher?
Well, your mother definitely sounds like she had a good system down, and she's not alone. Lots of people have their own special way of loading the dishwasher. Generally, the idea is to put the dirtiest items where the water spectrum reached them best, like putting plates facing the center and silverware in the basket with handles down. But honestly, as long as everything is clean and you're not blocking the spray arms, you're doing it right. Everyone's got their own little method, and if it works for you, then that's the right way to do it.
Sometimes she said sprinkle a little soap powder in there or some vinegar or whatever to make the food dissolve. Sometimes she said to pre-wash some of the dirty pans or whatever, or put some special soaps or something in there. Is that some ideas on how to use a dishwasher?
Yeah, those are definitely some tried and true tips. A little vinegar can help with spots and odors, and pair rinsing or soaking can help with really stuck on food. But a lot of modern dishwashers are actually pretty good at handling many dishes without too much fuss. So it's kind of a balance. If you find your dishes need a little extra help, those tricks can be useful. But if everything's coming out clean, then you're good to go. It's all about finding what works best for your dishwasher, your dishes.
You know, and then I had a Filipina girlfriend and she had a dishwasher. She never used the dishwasher. She used the dishwasher as a way of storing her pots and pans, but she never turned it on. What do you think about people who don't use the dishwasher as a dishwasher and use it as extra storage?
Oh yeah, that's definitely something a lot of people do. Sometimes a dishwasher ends up being more of a storage cabinet than an appliance, especially if someone prefers to hand wash the dishes or just doesn't have a lot of dishes to run through a cycle. It's kind of a funny little life hack, turning the dishwasher into a pot and pan cover. So hey, if that works for her and she's got her own routine, more power to her.
All right, go ahead and read number 15.
You got it. Let's jump to number 15. So the next big debate is all about pumpkin spice season. Is it a blessing or a curse when everything suddenly turns into pumpkin spice? And some people can't get enough of it, and others think it's a bit over the top. So that's number 15, the great pumpkin spice debate.
Tell me, what is a pumpkin spice season?
Pumpkin spice season is basically that time of year in the fall, usually around September through November, when everything suddenly gets a pumpkin spice flavor. You know, pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice muffins, candles, you name it. It's going to become this cultural phenomenon where for a couple of months, pumpkin spice is everywhere. Some folks absolutely love it and can't wait for it, and others think it's just a bit much. So that's the season. It's like the unofficial flavor of fall.
What is better, pumpkin spice pie or uh, sweet potatoes uh, spices? Which one's better, pumpkin spice or sweet potato pie?
Oh, that's a classic dessert showdown right there. Honestly, it kind of depends on your taste buds. Pumpkin pie with all those warm spices is a fall favorite for a lot of people. But sweet potato pie has its own rich sweet flavor that's just as beloved, especially in Southern cooking. So it's really all about what you're in the mood for. All the delicious in their own way, and honestly, you can't go wrong with either one.
All
Just
right,
pick your favorite slice.
all right. I always like to put what's it the cream, the spice cream pie on there, the whipped cream. Whipped cream on either one tastes good. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. A dollop of whipped cream on top just takes either one of those pies to the next level. It's like the perfect finishing touch. Whether it's pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie, that little bit of whipped cream just adds a nice creamy sweetness that makes each bite even better. So yeah, you got the right idea. Whipped cream for the win.
Okay, this next one, I've seen arguments on this on the internet and on Facebook, on Instagram. It says which way to hang toilet paper, over or under. One of these ways is wrong. Okay, which one is wrong? The wrong way to do the toilet paper.
The legendary toilet paper orientation debate. It's one of those things that sparks endless arguments. Technically, the original patent for toilet paper shows it in the over position, so you could say that's the official way, but really it just comes down to personal preference. Some people are die hard over the top folks, and others are all about the under. In the end, as long as toilet paper is there, you get to go. But if you want to follow the official way, over is the winner.
Yeah, because if you do it under, it's next to the wall, and then your hands is banging all up against the wall. And I think that over is the best way. And also, you should need to fold the end like they do in the rest in the hotel rooms. They put a little triangle or something at the end. Is that a nice way of putting your toilet paper?
Yeah, exactly. Over definitely makes it easy to grab without knocking your hand into the wall. And that little hotel style fob at the end is a nice touch. It's like a tiny bit of luxury in your own bathroom. It's not necessary, of course, but it does give it that neat, tidy look. So if you like a little extra flair, that's a fun way to do it. Over with a fancy fold, and you're all set.
And you also need to be careful on handling toilet paper because some drug addicts will take and put their needles and stuff in the toilet paper. So you got to be real careful on how to handle toilet paper in public settings. Am I right?
Well, it's always good to be aware of your surroundings, especially in public places. But honestly, something like that is pretty rare and not something you need to worry about on an everyday basis. In general, most public restrooms are safe to use, and you don't need to stress so much about that. Just practice your more hygiene habits, and you'll be fine. So it's good to be cautious, but there's no need to be overly worried.
All right, go ahead and read number 17.
Sure thing. Let's hit number 17. So the next big debate is all about tipping culture. How much, when, why, and why does that little screen always seem to suggest 30%? It's one of those things that can get people really talking, especially when it comes to how much to tip for different services. So that's number 17, the tipping culture conundrum.
Well, when it gets close to holiday seasons like Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, this type of stuff, when I get my services done, like I get manicure, pedicure, or massage, on those days or around those days, I usually tip 40 to 50%. Should you tip more during holiday seasons?
That's a really thoughtful gesture on your part. A lot of people do like to tip a little extra around the holidays as a way of showing appreciation and spreading a bit of festive cheer. It's definitely not required, but it's a nice way to say thank you for the people who provide you with services throughout the year. So if you feel like tipping more during the holidays, it's a lovely gesture, and I'm sure it's appreciated. So we're spreading a little extra kindness.
Well, if somebody gives you bad service or they're rude to you, are you still obligated to tip them?
That's a question a lot of people wrestle with. In general, tipping is meant to reflect the service you receive. If the service is genuinely bad or someone is rude, you're not obligated to tip the same way you would for good service. It's okay to tip less or not at all if it's really warranted. That said, it's always good to consider the context. Sometimes there might be other factors at play, but ultimately, tipping is a personal decision. You should do what feels right based on the experience you have.
If you was to take a girl out for a date or whatever, and you paid for the meal, should the girl leave the tip, or should you also have to put out the tip too?
That's a classic dating question. Honestly, it kind of comes down to what you're both comfortable with. Traditionally, if you're treating someone to dinner, we'd also cover the tip, but it's totally fine to have a conversation about it and see what feels right for both of you. Some people like to split things or have one person leave a tip as a nice gesture. It's really all about communication and what makes you both feel comfortable. There's no hard and fast rule, just do what works for you.
Well, I took this girl out and we had dinner or whatever, and then I tipped the waitress $50. So when we was getting up, my girlfriend actually took the tip and put it in her pocket. I go, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "Well, she shouldn't deserve that much." So she wouldn't put down any more money. She just took the $50 and put it in her purse. What should I have done right then?
Oh wow, that's definitely an awkward situation. In a case like that, I think the best thing to do is just to calmly explain to your date that the tip was meant for the server and that you feel it's important to leave it. It's really about setting your own boundaries and making sure you communicate your values. If she didn't agree, that's something you can talk about, but ultimately the tip was your decision. It's definitely a bit of a red flag if someone takes the tip you left, so trust your instincts on that one. It's all about respect and making sure you do what feels right to you.
All right, go ahead and read number 18.
You got it. Let's move on to number 18. So the next great debate is all about daylight savings time. Do we actually need it? Some people think it's a helpful tradition, while others think it just messes with our schedules for no good reason. So that's number 18, the daylight savings time dilemma.
Number 18 says, is water wet? Is that what it says for number 18?
You're absolutely right. We did have a little slip there. Number 18 is indeed the classic, is water wet debate. It's one of those philosophical questions that gets people going in circles. Some say water makes things wet, but isn't wet itself. Others say water is inherently wet. So that's the rule number 18, the age-old question of whether water is wet.
So is the glass half full or half empty? What do you think?
Well, that's the ultimate optimist versus pessimist question, right? Personally, I like to think of it as half full. It's a nice way to keep a positive spin on things, but really it's all about perspective. You can see it either way, and there's no wrong answer. Just a fun little way to see how people look at the world. So half full, half empty, whichever way you see it. It's all good.
All right, now go ahead to 19 about daylight saving time. Go ahead and read number 19.
You got it. So now we're on to number 19, and this one's all about daylight savings time. Do we really need it? Some people think it's a useful tradition for making better use of daylight, while others think it just fills up everyone's schedule for no good reason. So that's number 19, the daylight savings time debate.
You know, I think daylight saving time is a real bother because I got like about 10 or 15 clocks and watches all over the house, and every daylight saving time I have to go around changing all my watches and all my clocks. Plus you got clocks and stuff on your appliances, in your car, on your computer and stuff. It's just too much hassle. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally get that frustration. Daylight saving time can definitely feel like a big hassle, especially when you have to run around changing a bunch of clocks twice a year. It can be real inconvenience and it throws off people's routines. That's why a lot of folks argue we should just stick to one time year round and skip all the clock changing drama. So you're definitely not alone in thinking it's more simple than it's worth.
Yeah, and on top of that, we have time zones on top of daylight savings time. You know, time is relevant to where you are, right? So making it go forward or backwards means absolutely nothing. That used to be okay back in the past when we were trying to improve our economy, but we're all on the computer age right now, so we really don't need that. What do you think?
Yeah, you're hitting on a really good point there. With modern technology and the way we live now, the original reasons for daylight savings time doesn't hold as much weight as they used to. Time zones are enough to juggle, and add daylight savings to the mix can just feel like an extra layer of confusion. We have so much technology that automatically adjusts the time, and our lives aren't really tied to daylight the way they used to be. So yeah, a lot of people feel like we could live without it. Definitely a conversation worth having.
All right, go ahead and read number 20.
Absolutely. Let's wrap it up with number 20. So the final big argument is all about Starbucks orders. Why are they so long, and why do people get so worked up about them? Some folks love customizing every detail of their drink, and others think it's a bit over the top. So that's number 20, the Starbucks order extravaganza.
You know what? Starbucks is kind of expensive, and it's so expensive. A lot of people can't afford it because they're trying to raise up the minimum pay. Now they want the minimum wage to be $30 an hour. What do you think about that? Do you think that's too much?
Well, that's a pretty big and complex topic. On one hand, the cost of living has gone up a lot, and higher wages can definitely help people make ends meet, especially in places where things are more expensive, like those fancy Starbucks drinks. On the other hand, there's always a debate about what the right minimum wage should be and how it affects businesses and prices. It's really about finding the balance, the House Department for a living, while keeping things sustainable. So it's a big conversation about our perspectives, and there's no easy one-size-fits-all answer.
All right, go ahead, Kevin, and read your Kevin's grand take. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Here's Kevin's grand take on all these debates. At the end of the day, all these arguments, whether it's about pineapple or pizza, cats versus dogs, or whether water is wet, are really just a fun way of showing how everyone sees the world a little differently. It's all part of what makes life interesting. We might not always agree, but the debates themselves can be a good time, and we're to learn about each other's perspectives. So have fun with it, keep it light, and remember that a little friendly debate is just another way to connect.
Go ahead and read Shania's reality check.
You got it. Time for Shania's reality check. So here's the thing. All these debates are a fun reminder that people can get passionate about the silliest little things, and that's okay. It's a good reality check that life is full of different opinions, and it's those little quirks that keep things interesting. We can laugh about it, we can learn from it, and at the end of the day, it's all just part of the strange and delightful tapestry of life. So embrace the differences and keep it real.
So here's Billy Boy's closing thoughts. You know, America argues because we're passionate, loud and independent, and slightly dramatic. But heck, it makes great entertainment. If you laughed, learned, or argued with the screen today, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and join the What's Up family. All right, Kevin, go ahead and close out the show.
Absolutely, Billy Boy, and well said. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on the What's Up show today. We hope you had a good laugh and maybe saw some of these debates in a new light. Remember, it's all about having fun and keeping the conversation going. So until next time, take care and keep those Good Nation arguments coming.
Hey, Kevin, before we go, how did you like today's show?
I had a blast. Honestly, it was a lot of fun diving into all these quirky debates and just seeing how much we can laugh and learn from them. You kept us lively with a great show, so thanks for having me along for the ride. Let's do it again sometime.
All right, what's up, what's up, what's up?
What's up, indeed? It's been a blast. Thanks for bringing the energy and all the fun topics. Until next time, keep that What's Up spirit going.